you got into the yoga was while you were still in Connecticut.
Yes. So yeah, after I had left Stop and Shop, I got the job doing the truffles, broke up with the boyfriend, all this other stuff. And yeah, basically I needed something. I didn't know what I needed. And I was getting into that really dark period of like, basically like wanting to jump off a bridge. And the guy that ran the yoga place had seen some stuff on my Facebook, and it was weird because I had friended him years earlier, but you know how like you friend people and you just never talk to them? Like it's like a waste of time.
Yeah.
So I friended him years earlier. So he reached out to me out of the blue, sent me a Facebook message and was like, "Are you okay?" I don't know who this person was, but there was just something in me that I was like, word vomit. I was like, nope, this is where I'm at.
No, I'm not. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I quit, you know? And he was just like, he's like, to be fair, he's like, come to one yoga class. He's like, it's all I'm asking. And I was like, no, really. I was like, you don't understand. Like, I would be driving down the road and contemplate, like, if I drove into this telephone pole, would it kill me? Or am I going to end up in the hospital with like 100 broken bones and be pissed? Like, this was the stuff going through my head. And then it would be like, well, nope, that's probably not a sound idea. We shouldn't do it that way. Like, this was the stuff that was happening to me. And that was when, like I said, I ran into him. And so I told him, I was like, fine, you get one yoga class. That is it. So I went to this class and blew my mind. I'm telling you, it was 45 minutes. It was just this gentle flow yoga that anybody could do, which was mostly like Kundalini mixed into some like vinyasa, mixed into some other stuff. Like it was like a whole mix. And then at the end, after the yoga class, they do an open share. So it's kind of set up, not like an AA meeting, but it's kind of like that. And basically you can stick to the topic. You can just drop and say whatever you want, or you can just share. And I didn't share at all, but just hearing other people. And I was like, maybe that's what's wrong with me, or maybe that is, and this could be fixed. And I'm like, this is interesting. And all this stuff, like, so between the yoga, just relaxing me and opening up, and then hearing the shares, like it's an amazing combination. So it blew my mind. So that was a Tuesday night. So I came back. He did it every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday night. So I went back Thursday night, and he was like, "You're back." And I was like, "I'm curious." So I did it again, and I just went back, and it just like amazing. Like,
so it was not only the yogas, but also the speaking after.
Yeah, those open shares, really just to express and talk about whatever. And like I said, the year that I was there, though, I never shared. Like, we would go around the room and it would get to me, and Sal would be like, "Pam, why don't you share?" And I'm like, pass. Every time, like for a year, I was like, nope.
Was there ever a moment you shared?
So the first time I shared was the first night I taught there, because so I started there in April of 2017. And then it was the following, like, little while after that was when yoga teacher training came around. And Sal had told me I should do it just to deepen my own practice. And I was like, I don't want to teach again. Like, I'm done. Like, because I used to teach ballroom dance. I used to be in front of people. Like, that was stuff I did. Like, I can teach. Like, I know I can do that. But I was like, I have no wish to do this. Like, I don't want the stress. I don't want to, like, no. So, yeah, I did the whole teacher training to deepen my own practice. I learned how to teach yoga. But it was, like, one of the, it was amazing, like, the stuff that I learned. And then right when teacher training got done, he was going on vacation for a week. And he's like, "Can you just teach the Tuesday and Thursday night?" And I was like, what part of we're not doing this do we not understand? And I was like, fine, I will do it while you're gone. That is it. So that Tuesday night, I showed up, put my mat down like where he usually is, and the whole thing, everybody walked in and they're like, "Oh, she's going to teach. She doesn't talk. This is good." So I taught the whole class, and then I started the share like he does. Like, I gave a topic and I shared a story, and they were just like, holy crap. Like,
they have not heard you talking for an entire year.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes,
did you prepare the topic, or did you prepare your story?
No, just kind of like I wrote up the one I did the other night. That was basically what I did. I kind of told them why I was there, where I came from, and like I was like, here we are.
Wow.
Oh my God. So I taught the Tuesday and Thursday, and then he was back for Sunday night, and everybody walked in and they're like, "Can Pam teach again?"
Oh shit, you took over. Did you then? No, of course not.
It was so funny because that's what ended up happening was, like, before where he was always teaching them, you know, I was able, not like to give him a night off, but he would still come and just take my classes because it was good for everybody. Like,
so wait a minute, you took over?
No, I just started taking like nights from him. Like, we would take turns.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's amazing.
It was good for him because it gave him a night off if he needed it. Or like I said, he would just come and take my class instead.
Wow.
Which was kind of like overwhelming. I mean, that would be like trying to like teach a coaching course and have like Susie in there. Like I would die. Like, no. You know, but that's how it felt like the first time I taught him. And I was like, what if I fuck it up? Like, what if I do this? Like, oh my God.
Uh-huh.
He loved it because he was like, I never get to take class. He was like, it was so good not to teach and have to worry about everybody. He's like, I can focus on me for a change.
True, must be a change. Correct, I can see. Yeah, I can see that.
I noticed that too. Like I love to teach, but I also like to take classes, so I don't have to watch everybody and do stuff. And I'm like, I can just focus.
True. It's a different thing, of course. Yes.
Wild. Yeah, it's so true though. But yeah.
So, and then you have a year. You have did a year of the yoga, and then, so things got better, also personally, professionally.
Yeah, well, that's what was happening was after I started the yoga and the stuff, a friend of mine was big into the gym. So I started going to the gym like every day. Like I'm talking like literally like 7 days a week. It was crazy. And that got really good. So I started waking up early and I had this whole morning routine and the whole stuff. But then that started making things at work harder because now I was like on this level of just like growth.
Yes.
And I realized I hated my job and I didn't want to be there and I didn't like the people I worked with and they were holding me back. And I just started hearing people like complaining all the time. And I'm like, take your negative energy and go somewhere. Like, I don't want to hear you vent. I don't have space for you. Like, I can't do it. And that turned into like butting heads at work. And I was like, I have to get out of here. I was like, I can't be here anymore. Like, I didn't realize how bad it was because I was in the rat race. You know what I mean? So when it was like, you know, it started to open up, it was, it's ridiculous. And then, and that's what happened. And like I said, about a year after that, so this was back in 2019, I came down here. And yeah, it was like, oh my God, I was like, I want to move to Florida. Like, this is great. Like, people are down here are nice. It's sunny. It's happy.
Your parents are with you. They are also already here.
Not yet.
So did your parents purchase this apartment that they were planning for retirement and you live in that one now?
No, I have my own place. When I first came down here, I stayed there for a couple of weeks while I was finding an apartment. So they're condos here. So they just come down like for vacations or they'll come down for
okay. They don't live there.
No.
I see. Do you have siblings also?
So I have one younger biological sister, and then now I have a stepsister who's a year and a half older than me.
Okay, and they are still in Connecticut.
Yeah, everybody's still up north. Like my mom and my sister, I don't talk to.
Okay.
My dad, I'm super close to. My stepmom has become like the mother I never had, and then
stepmom is the new partner of your dad, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
She's amazing. Like she's amazing. She's wonderful. Like I'm glad my dad found her. Like he deserves her 100%. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
And that's something else too. Like I always swore I'd never be like my mom because my mom is just a very not great person. Like she raised me and I love her and I thank her for carrying me and the whole deal. But like I said, when I went through my growth period, it was just not super supportive. And she's always been a very negative person. Like I said, I drew a lot of boundaries in one shot at that point, and I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. Like, I need to figure myself out. Nobody is helping me right now except for the guy that I met on Facebook 5 years ago. Like, I'm like, nobody is helping me right now.
That's wonderful how it works. Isn't that crazy how connections, wow. That's insane how you meet these people. And where did you meet him? Like 5 years ago? What's the connection there?
I had been on Facebook and like, it was one of those things, you know, it just, I don't even know how I came across his yoga page, but he has this concept where he hands out these bracelets. So I don't know if you can see that. It's my Love Tribe band.
Okay, yes.
So he's got these red bands and that's how he started his community was he got a ton of these red bands. And basically what it says is hearts open no matter what. That's our mantra is the ability to keep your heart open no matter what's going on. Like just being open. And so he got a bunch of these bands and he put the concept out there to the world of like Love Tribe and support and the whole deal. And people just started inboxing them their addresses and they're like, send me bands because this is amazing. So I fell in love with the concept. So this was right as I had gotten together with my ex. And I was like, oh my gosh. So he sent me a couple. So, you know, I wore it for a while and then I kind of took it off.
So wait a minute, this is the time when you met your boyfriend. So we're now five years back in time, correct? Got it. Okay. That's when you came across. Okay. I see.
I love the concept. Everything was happy. Like, you know, I love my boyfriend and this is good.
Yes.
Work was good. I just got promoted. And I'm like, oh my God, everything's great.
Got it.
Crash and burn. So.
Well, but to be fair, it didn't crash under a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I mean, it should have crashed way earlier. I just didn't see it, and I think I was avoiding the whole thing. And
Okay.
and he was also very mentally, I don't want to say abusive, but yeah, it was very like mind fuck all the time.
Oh,
I would
shit.
I would think there was something wrong. Like I'd be like, I'd notice like he'd be out later than he should or things like that because he played in a band and stuff. So I always
Mhm.
feel like when he'd be home, like after I'd moved, like when we moved in together, and it'd be one of those, and I'd be like, where are you? Like I don't understand. And I'd be like, and then
Mm.
I had this inkling he was cheating on me because all of a sudden he had more work meetings after work and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't get it. And then it was weird because then it would stop and he'd be like with me all the time for like 6 months, and it'd be like, oh my god, I'm like, I'm just probably imagining this shit, right? Well, then it would start up again, and I'm like, I don't understand. And he'd be like, well, if that's what you think, you should leave, and all these things. And I'm like, well, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Like, this was the stuff, yeah. So I was like a basket case, and at that point, I didn't really understand what anxiety was. I didn't know what depression was. I didn't know that's what I had. So when you're screwing with me plus the anxiety, that's not a good thing. So this went on for like 4.5 years. It was crazy. Yeah, I even tried, like, at that point I was trying to go to therapy to try and get help, and all they wanted to do was put me on meds. And he actually came with me to a
Ooh.
couple of sessions because she thought maybe
So
that would help.
you were with him for 5 years, and you say all of this happened more or less 4.5 years. So
Mhm.
basically, your entire relationship.
It was a sham. Yeah, it was fake, totally fake. Yeah,
Wow.
but I
How
didn't.
did you
He was always
cope with
like when
this?
I was off, he was home with me. Like I didn't see it. Like he managed to make it work. Like if I was working nights or doing things, he figured out how to do this. Like he was like, yeah. So yeah, multiple times. I guess I found out at the end he had cheated on me multiple times. Like I said, he made a baby with this other person. Like yeah. Well, he had told me, listen to this one. This is the biggest fuck of all. So he had told me when we finally split up that, I don't love you anymore. I got this girl pregnant, the whole thing, and I thought she was pregnant. And I was like, okay, you're doing the right thing by being with her, the whole baby. Dude, that girl had the baby. That baby was 4. Okay, this is not you're pregnant. This is your child is lied to me. I found out like a year later.
Mm.
Yeah,
And it's a long time. 5 years is
that's
not
when I had
like
like
just.
snap. Like I'm telling you, between the anxiety and the depression and the stuff, like I didn't like it was like my body exploded. Like I had no idea which way to go. Yeah, and at that point, I wasn't going to therapy anymore because, like I said, all they wanted to do was put me on pills that made me feel like a zombie. Nobody was listening to me in that office, and when I told them I didn't want to be on pills, and they're like, then the doctor wouldn't really see me because that was something that you had to do. And I was like, what? Like, get out of here. Yeah.
Oh
So
my God. So did you think that yoga classes or the group would helped you to open up?
I didn't know anything about it. That's the thing. Like when he told me about the concept of yoga and then the open share, and I didn't know what to expect, only that, like I said, I promised I'd do it and I needed to do something.
Mhm.
And I didn't know what I needed because, everybody was like, telling me like, you'll get over it. It'll get better. He's a jerk. Like, you
Mhm.
know, all of these things, like, you're too good for that. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. Like, it was like a
Mhm.
mess. And, like I said, I went through my dark phase there. And yeah, the whole concept, it seemed good. And like I said, I did make the promise that I would take the class and give it a try. And
So
yeah,
did you ever speak it out? Did you ever express it somewhere? The whole experience?
as far as like the yoga class or like what I went through.
No, 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 the experience, the breakup, like the relationship, the time in
Oh,
the relationship, the breakup, the time that followed.
I mean, like my parents kind of like they knew obviously because of what happened,
Mhm.
but as far as kind of going through like the whole story and all the anxiety and all this stuff, I mean, I think Sal was probably the only person I really opened up to, only because
That's wonderful.
yeah, and I didn't know why. I just knew that like there was something about him that it was like just tell this guy like what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and it was crazy.
Nice. So where do you say your heart is now? Connecticut or Florida?
Florida, 100%.
Nice. All
Now
right. Okay.
I've got all these like thoughts now. Like I want like a tiny house, and I'm like, what if I can travel? Like what if I can be a yogi with a tiny house and drive all the way like across the country? And so
Oh, that's awesome.
that's
And
Florida at this point.
okay, fair enough. And now let's move to Florida. So now you're in Florida. You got the job on Craigslist. So you came for the job. You looked for an apartment. You found one, and what's the job? Is that still the job you're doing, or is it another one?
Yeah, it's still my regular day job. So
Hmm.
basically, it's kind of like So we help people consolidate their student loans, like for college, because in the United States, you can take out loans to go to school and then you end up with all the debt and then nobody can ever pay it back. So basically we help people get on government programs to help them fix it.
Repay.
And yeah.
Okay.
So what I do all day is I call people and I get them to get their shit together and sign up.
And you go to the office. So you work in an office. You go in the morning and you come back in the evening?
I'm actually working from home now. Yeah, when
Is
the
that because of
pandemic
COVID?
started, they sent us home.
Yeah, okay.
That we were in the office, but
that's good, right? So the home office kind of thing, or?
yeah, I mean, I like it more. I feel more relaxed and I don't feel like, with a lot of people around and not like everybody was listening, but it's kind of like a weird environment. But like I feel better being at home because I can just like relax. I can do my thing. I can, it's a little bit easier that way. And then,
and good, you didn't lose your job. I mean, many others did. So that's also on the positive side, or no?
Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, if I had, I don't know what I would have done. Like, cause I mean, even, because down here, like unemployment's been so screwed up and people can't get what they need and they're trying to do things. And yeah, so if I had, I might still be without, any kind of a paycheck at this point. It's crazy.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good that way. It's good that way. And that leads now to the work to Susie. So what is where did you meet her? I heard Susie saying you worked with her before. You know her since a bit?
Yeah. So I started my own business back in, I think it was like 2018. I came up with the idea.
Okay.
And that's when
Wait a minute. It was about the time when you came to Florida.
This is about the year before that. So I came up with
19. Okay.
Yeah, because 2019 I moved down here. So it was like October 2018. I came up with this idea of wanting my own business. I wanted to do more with the yoga and the stuff. I hired my first business coach. So she helped me, do the website and the development and the whole like strategy side of things. And she did some mindset work, but she really was the one that got me off the ground. Like, here's how you build a Facebook group. Here's how you do this. Like, here's how. So that got me like a really good foundation.
And doing what? So what did you start?
Yeah, so I started as, I basically started as a holistic lifestyle coach, and that is still a lot of what I want to do, but I've really targeted it now with the Kundalini yoga, the idea of breath work and meditation, and then yes, the mindset work is kind of, I guess kind of like the open share portion. So it's kind of being able to put it all together. So I've really narrowed it down from what I originally didn't really know what I had till like now I know where I'm at. So I started with that, and that's how I got into Susie's Facebook group because Sarah had said, like, join this group, join this group, join this group so you can post in them and do things. So I got into Susie's group. And the first program, I'm trying to think what the first program was that I signed up with her. Oh, man, that was, like, so long ago. I don't even know now. Because I've now officially, like, it's like on your dashboard, like, where she's got all the courses for you. Like, I literally
all of them you're done.
Like, I've literally bought all of those courses. Like I bought them all. Like every time she bought one, I bought it. So like where like you guys do it, I'm like, I literally bought them all because I was crazy. But yeah, I remember going through and I was just watching her live. And I fell in love with her, and it was like not like stalkerish, but I was like, oh my god. So I signed up for course after course, and it did. It helped me get some ideas and gave me some stuff, but I still wasn't like there all the way. And then one night, it was back in, I want to say. So it was Six Figure Mindset. That was the one I was in when I moved down to Florida in 2019. Because that was when she helped us build a vision board and do all, like I was literally in the car with my dad, like I am with you right now on Zoom in the vision board workshop, making a vision board in the car. Like I had my phone on like my mobile Wi-Fi hotspot. I've got my laptop like on the dashboard, and my dad's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Just drive, just keep driving." Like it was the funniest thing. It was hysterical. So back at, I want to say it was June, Susie messaged me through Facebook Messenger and was like, oh my God, you've like bought all my stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because I love you. Like, so she offered me a free coaching session. I was like, oh my God, like this girl's offering me a coaching session. Like I've only wanted to work with her. Like it would be like me meeting like Tony Robbins, like Susie meeting him. Like this is what Susie did. Like, I was like, oh, like it was amazing. So, obviously I accepted her offer. So we got on and we were just talking and went through a bunch of mindset stuff. It wasn't like a sales call, like how she tells you, like, she's like, sometimes I just get on and this is what we do and that's it. And I was like, okay. So, no sales pitch, no nothing. And then she was like, I guess she had looked up some of my stuff and seen some of my yoga and really liked the idea of it. And she said usually when she does her Bali retreat, she hires, you know, a local yoga teacher. And she was like, how would you feel about coming to do it? I was like,
wow.
oh my God, yeah. And she's like, and if you want, she's like, you know, you can participate in the other stuff with the other girls and this and that. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
Basically, she was like, I'll pay you for the yoga teacher training. We'll take that off the top. And I was like, oh my God, this is so, like, it was amazing. It was like my first real, like, somebody hired me. Like, I was super excited.
That is really nice. Yes.
Yeah.
The connection was bad about the vision board. What did you do to the vision party? You were sitting in your cars.
Susie did a vision board, like
From Susie. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
When I did it, yeah, because my dad and I drove to Florida after I sold all my stuff. We packed everything and left into my car, and we just drove down here. And she was doing it, and I could have caught the replay, but I was like, I really want to be on there. So yeah, I'm like sitting in the seat of the car, like share a car. Got my laptop. I was like, it was hysterical. I was dying. She said, she's like, where are you? And I was like, I'm in the car with all my stuff. I was like, this is my whole house. Like,
I'm moving right now, but I want to be part.
Car. It was like the funniest. There had to be like 50 of us on there. It was hysterical. I was dying.
Wow, that's wonderful.
That was like my first. I mean, I had made vision boards, but nobody had ever taught me how to make one. So that was my first real, like, this is how you do it. This is why you do it. This is like. And it was a digital version too, which blew my mind. So that was super cool.
I have also troubles with that. Yes. Nice.
Fun. Yeah, no, it was great. And that's what I did even in my own group. It was probably like 6 months ago. I ran because they all wanted to make a vision board. So I actually ran it very similar to Susie's. And I was like, well, I'll teach you how to do it digital. You can do it the old fashioned way. And I ended up posting that on my YouTube because it's how to make your own, you know, vision board kind of a thing. So it was so cool. Like it came out so good.
Nice. But you were saying that was a year ago. So a year ago you had the vision board and now she was asking you for the yoga.
Like a month later. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice.
And then that's what happened. In the fall, she wanted to do that mastermind. And that's when Anwar showed up. Like she signed up. So it was only me, Susie, and Anwar. We were the only ones going to Bali in May. It was just going to be literally the three of us. It was crazy.
This year,
yeah. It was just
correct. Yes.
And that's when COVID happened and the whole thing. And then, you know, when Bali kind of came and went, and then, yeah, within like 3 or 4 weeks, all of you guys came, which is amazing. Cause I'm like, now we're a full, now we're full.
Yes.
Which is wonderful. And I'm super excited. So I feel like I've manifested somehow my dream coach for a year of coaching that is like, and I'm like, yeah, sorry guys. Oh, sorry about COVID. That was my bad. Like,
yeah.
That's a year of coaching, but the universe is like, what you gonna do with it?
What are you gonna do with it? Exactly. Correct. Yes. But it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. The things that you didn't lose your job, you can still have the money and do your thing. So, and on the call, you also said that the last year or so, it's a bit down with your business. What is cooking there?
It hasn't grown, and I firmly, I don't want to say like I blame it on myself, but like I really do, because like the first year of my business, I was not consistent because I was trying to learn and do a lot of things. So I wasn't consistent at posting all the time. I wasn't selling enough. I wasn't doing things. So I really wasted like the first year of my business. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
Like where you're like diving in and you're all over it and all over your shit. That's amazing because that's where I should have been. And I wasn't. So I fully regret my first year of business. I wish I could have got it together more and wasn't so afraid to do videos. I wasn't so afraid to sell myself. Like it was just one of those.
And sell yourself what? What what is the product? Where's your money coming from?
Right now, so I have my one-on-one coaching and I have my membership.
Got it.
It's my two big. Those are my big ones.
Got it.
And then I also started last month. This is the first time I tried doing like a week-long like yoga series. I tried selling, you know, like the individual classes. I'm kind of throwing that at the wall right now.
Now, how do you do yoga live now in Florida?
So a couple of different ways. So one of them is just like this. Like I'll do it on Zoom. And a lot of in my Facebook group, like my membership site, a lot of times I'll do it just live in general. So I can't see them, but they can see me, which is fun. But I like the Zoom stuff because then at least you can talk to me.
Yes.
For the most part, with Kundalini, when we do yoga, it's not hands-on. So a lot of times you see teachers like adjusting and doing things. Kundalini is very hands-off. Like obviously, if you're going to hurt yourself, I'll be the first one to like grab you. I'm not going to let you do something stupid. but like, but for the most part, we let you do your thing, experience it, because maybe you're not that flexible today. Maybe you're just not there yet, but a month from now, you're going to be like, okay, I can reach my toes. Well, just because you can't do it today, it's not my job to try and force you to reach your toes. That's not what yoga is about. It's the experience,
Okay.
And when they taught us, the biggest thing that we learned, especially with Kundalini teaching, was you should be able to, and I hate to kind of say this just bluntly, but we should be able to teach our class to a room full of blind people. Like, they don't need, your verbals should be so good that, like I said, I can teach you in a way that you could have your eyes closed the whole class and never look at me. And that's what makes it better. And that's how I treat my classes, like, and they work. Because, you literally keep your eyes closed the whole time, and I promise you'll get through it.
And do you do any offline courses also in your surrounding?
First moved here, I was doing some stuff actually here at Pause, and then we stopped doing that, and then when coronavirus happened, that just wasn't happening. And I was lucky I already had my stuff online, so it wasn't new for me. So it wasn't new for my clients and like my people, like my community, so to speak. They were already used to me doing this stuff, which I think made it better. But what I kept doing was I was selling the yoga, like I was selling the idea of yoga and meditation and these things. So people were like, oh yeah, I joined my local studio. And I did. And then it took me a while to realize, well, I'm selling the concept, but again, I'm not selling me. And that's what I do. I just want them to understand that I'm the one you want, not necessarily yoga.
Yes, true. So when you started the business, you wanted to be yoga and coaching the entire time, or did you change your course along the way?
I've changed my course along the way. Yeah. When I started, it was mostly the idea of holistic coaching. I wanted to help people change their entire lifestyle. So it wasn't really focused. It was very broad. I was just going to kind of personalize it to each person. Again, when you've got no focus, that was where I was struggling too, because I don't think my clients knew what to expect or what they were getting and things like that. So now that I've niched myself down, it's kind of a different story. And while I haven't signed anybody there yet, I feel like I'm getting closer to where I need to be. But again, it's coming down to me and selling me and doing things like that. And I need to figure that out.
And why online?
Because I do not have a wish to necessarily teach in a studio. I don't want to teach 50 classes a week so that I can make a paycheck. Like, that exhausts me just thinking about it. That's a lot. Like, for me if I wanted to keep the same paycheck I've got now, I would have to teach at $50 a class. I would have to teach 20 classes a week to stay where I'm at now.
20 classes a week. That's huge.
That's 20 hours, 30 hours of yoga.
So 20 hours, maybe like 5 days a week. That's like, oh, that's a lot. That's like 3 hours a day.
You can't just teach at one studio because like you're not going to teach the same class 20 times a week. Like, I literally would have to be driving and traveling, and it's exhausting even just thinking about it in the back of my mind right now.
Yes, I understand. I see.
Like, if I can do the one-on-one coaching, that's my high ticket. If I can do the membership site and get, a bunch of people in, that's huge on its own, because while it's an active membership site, that's still like rolling income. So that's kind of where my head was geared. So that's
and what are the and the membership that you're having? Tell me more about that one. Which kind of people are there already?
So it's my membership site. What it is I do one class a week with them. So I have the one live class a week, the one meditation session a week. And then during the week, I give them like journaling prompts, and they have daily Voxer support for me as well. So like every morning I message and I'm like, how are we doing today? Did you reach your goals yesterday? Because like they have their habit trackers and like their stuff to be working on. So every Monday we set up our goals for the week and we plan everything. And really it's keeping ourselves accountable. So,
and when you say you plan for the week, they plan, what are they coming with? They're planning to do a yoga routine. So they say on Monday, I'm planning to do, 4 times yoga a week and 2 times meditation. These kind of goals?
I made it more, because that was kind of how I started. And then I realized I didn't even like that. Because some days I'll wake up and I'll wake up and go, well, I don't want to go running today. Like I don't feel it.
Okay.
I'll go do yoga instead. So we kind of changed it to like, you're going to do 3 types of movement a day. And maybe
got it. So it's health goals.
Yeah, so it gives them a little more wiggle room rather than feeling like you're locked into this routine. And when you're not motivated and then you don't do it, and then you feel like crap because you didn't do it. But it's like, well, do some different kind of movement. What else are you feeling today? Like, you know what I mean?
Got it.
I spend the whole week, checking in with them, and we do, like I said, we do the class every week, and we do the meditation and the stuff. And
sounds amazing.
Thank you.
I love it. Yes. Uh-huh.
It's a decent price. Like I was going to charge way lower. And then, after talking to Susie, so I'm at $37 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that's 4 yoga classes, which in itself would be like $80. So already you're to the good that way. And then, like I said, between all the support and all the other stuff. So it's a very nice group coaching community. And
It's
then I have
nice.
a one-on-one program, which is kind of that, but at a bigger scale, obviously.
So my sister, she goes yoga in her neighborhood, and it's a price per class, and she pays 10, more or less $10.
Mhm.
So for if you calculate it that way, 4 times 10, well, it's also $40. Plus the coaching and the community is much stronger there, obviously. Nice. I like it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yes, understand. And you're focusing on that one, understand. And when you do the coaching, you do health coaching or life coaching in the sense of helping people through their life challenges?
I guess a little bit of both. That's kind of why I kind of ended up like right now I'm calling myself a yoga lifestylist, but basically I started as a holistic coach because I have, like, especially with my 2 rounds now, I'm on round 3 of my yoga teacher training because you take it and then you do it again the second time, but for more hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 500 hours. And then once you complete that, you're grandfathered in for life. So you can just keep taking
Mm-hmm.
And this year with COVID, they're doing it all online. So I was like, yes. Like, good. I can come
Nice.
back again for again.
Uh-huh.
But basically, we learn everything from the yoga and then the meditation, but they also teach you, because with yoga, a lot of people are vegans and vegetarians and things like that. So I learned a lot that way. I learned a lot as far as, how to build habits and set up flows. So when I coach, I can coach on all that stuff. Like I'm qualified to coach on diet changes. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a personal trainer per se, but we have the background to coach on that. We're able to do the nutrition, we're able to do the habits, like I said, between the workouts that you're getting from the yoga, the mindset work on top of it, because like I said, I know with meditation stuff comes up and you got to have somewhere to put it or you might lose your mind. Something wrong with you because you wake up crying on your yoga mat and it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. Sit down, like and then that's the kind of I'll coach through, because as stuff comes up for them, they'll be like, because we'll do 40-day meditation challenges and you'll be halfway through and you're like, all these feelings are coming up, and I'm like, good, let's come up. What are you feeling? What is it? And that's when I'll tell them about what I've experienced. And they're like, oh, so this is normal. And I'm like, yeah, and you're gonna feel good in like 3 days. You'll be
okay. Nice. This is so lovely. It's such a wonderful idea. And where do you want to go with this? You want to quit your job or
And my ultimate goal is to quit my quote unquote 9 to 5. And I told Steve I wanted to do that by Christmas. So we've got 6 months.
Oh, yeah. Got it. So you're saying, so in December, you want to quit your 9 to 5 job and then you want to be fully online. Do you then want to travel? What do you want to say?
I want to go back to Connecticut for Christmas and have them be like, Pam, how's work? How's life? And I'm like, I quit my job. I've got my dream life.
Yes.
Like, I get to do, like, when I go to Bali next year, I don't have to ask for time off. Like, I'm like, I can go for a month if I want to go. Fuck it. Like I want to be able to like that's where I'm at. But that also comes down to me because and I will say, in the last couple weeks, I don't know what it is. I've hit some kind of like a block again where like I just haven't really been getting up in the mornings. I haven't been wanting to do so I'm not doing my mindset work. I'm not doing I am not being consistent enough. And again, all of this I know starts with me. So I have to figure that out now.
And could you tell where it lays? So why is it? Could you pinpoint it?
I don't know. I feel like I go through these spurts. Like I'm always on like a roller coaster all the time.
Do you think that ever stops? I'm questioning.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really exhausted the last 2 weeks, but I think that's because, so I started going full on vegan about 2 months ago.
Okay.
So I guess from what I've heard from other people just talking, especially around here, because everybody in here is basically vegan, they were telling me, yeah, you'll feel like you have a lot of energy at first, but once your body starts kind of like officially flushing everything out and you're kind of adjusted, you go through this phase of like your body is like exhausted, now it's working different things and doing stuff, and then you'll come back up. But I'm like, but it's making me tired. Like the only energy I have is to work my 9 to 5. Like I don't want to do shit with anything else.
Why did you choose to go vegan?
So I wanted to see if my energy would change, like if mentally it would help me, because so before this, I really didn't eat like crap to start with. I wasn't a vegetarian either, but I didn't eat a lot of meat. I didn't eat a lot of stuff. So, but I was hoping it would do like change my energy levels. And because I was starting yoga teacher training again, I wanted to see in conjunction with that if it would change a few things, which it really has. Like my skin's clear. I do feel mentally clear. I just, like I said, the last 2 weeks, like physically, I've just been exhausted. But I guess, like I said, it kind of comes with the territory from what I'm hearing. So I guess maybe like next week or so, I'll be back where I need to be.
And are you telling the story? You have to share it. It's so amazing to listen to you. This is incredible. This is really,
ask me questions because this is so helpful.
I know. I know. I feel exactly the same. It's so different when someone asks. Yes. I totally understand. Do you think you plan to stay in Florida?
I don't know. I mean, definitely like for the foreseeable future, yes. Like I started looking because, like I pay rent, I have an apartment, but I was like, I've kind of gotten this infatuation lately with tiny houses. I don't know. Do you know what a tiny house is?
Yes, I'm dreaming of having an own community of tiny houses.
Here in Florida, it's like, I don't know, 20 minutes north of where I live. Like they literally are a community of tiny houses. Like,
but people live there or vacation houses?
No, people live there. Yeah. Basically,
Germany, there's none so far.
I was gonna say it's like $100 a month for your plot of land, and then that's it. I was like,
interesting.
If I buy a tiny house, drop it there, like that's so cute. Like I'm all
it's very American. In Germany, there's a lot of political discussion. I don't know why this is a problem, but yes.
Fascinating. And I was like, I can tow my own house because I have an SUV. So I was like, if I make it on wheels, I was like, and then yes, when I don't have my 9 to 5 and I'm not locked down, I was like, I could travel across the country. I could literally take my house with me. Like, how cool is that?
Are you planning to quit your apartment in December?
No, my lease is through May. So I'm stuck there at least till May.
So when you come to Bali, you will still have the apartment, and will you have it given away?
At that point, that's when I got to make a decision. I can either renew my lease and then I'm locked.
So also the timing is crucial. It's amazing. Oh, nice. Yeah. So you say you buy it and you drop it in that piece of land that you have there in Florida.
Yeah, that doesn't exist here. And like you can be really super self-sufficient because like, even like the bathrooms, they have like the compost ones, and you can get like the solar panels and the stuff. Like, you could really take this thing like off the grid.
That is so amazing.
And
wow, that's pretty awesome.
$300 or $400 a month for the land, like that's a third of what I'm paying on rent. Like, it's cool.
Yes, that's great. And you own it. You don't pay rent every month.
Yep,
exactly. And you can pay it in one pay. You don't have to get a loan for the next 20 years.
Exactly.
True.
No mortgage, there's no like.
Exactly. So true. I did have another question though. What was the question? Wait, I was thinking what you were telling me. So I'm coming back to Connecticut. So you grew up there, you were having this time, then you with your boyfriend now I remember. So would you say that the boyfriend situation is the key situation of bringing you into misery?
I think it was definitely the icing on the cake. So even before that, I mean, like I said, I had a lot of trouble with anxiety that I didn't know that I had because I didn't know what that word meant. So I had a big drinking problem, and that wasn't good. And I, even at that point, like, so this is back, I mean, the legal drinking age in the United States is 21, but I was drinking well before that, like where I shouldn't have been. And I was in college, and then I quit college and didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So that's when I was teaching dance and working part-time at the grocery store, and I was still living at home with my parents. And shortly after that I moved out of my parents' house because I couldn't take the whole, you're under my roof, it's my rules, like this whole shit. And I was like, well, then I'm leaving. And the guy was teaching dance.
And when you say your parents, that was still your mom and your dad already?
Yeah, they were still together. They didn't get divorced until, I don't know, 2000, maybe like 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, they were together like forever. It was crazy.
So you grew up with your mom and your dad being together. Got it.
As together as
kind of. Okay.
But see, but this is the thing too. Like the way I was raised, like my dad was very much like my ex. They were like, we have 2 kids, so we'll figure this out. Well, you never figured it out. It was an unhealthy parent that now we were back into. Yeah, it was just not good. And then, like I said, I went away to college for 2 years, realized I didn't like it. It wasn't, my major wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. And then I switched majors and I was taking out student loans and I was like, I'm wasting money. Like, this is just stupid. So that's when I quit and I moved back home. And then that wasn't good because I had, authority issues and I was like, I don't want to be home and I want to stay out and I want to do things. And then, like I said, it kind of came to shove. So I moved into my boss's in-law apartment, which was fine. That was like my first real apartment. And
And you said you didn't know you had anxiety or depression at that time. Where was the moment this word came to you?
it was when I went to therapy when I was with my ex, because
What made you go to therapy? The ex?
No, it was me, because I knew I had something wrong with me and I didn't know.
You just, okay.
Wrong kind of loosely, but there was something wrong with me and I didn't know what it was.
I see.
I was at a point where, like I said, I was starting to drink again because my ex was a functioning alcoholic, like always had to have a drink in his hand. So for someone that had an alcohol problem, got arrested for the alcohol problem, stopped drinking, and got in a relationship with this guy in a band and then started drinking again, like my problem started again. And I was like, oh my God. But every time but that's what happened was, like, I remembered all the things that happened the first time I had an alcohol problem. And then all that, comes rushing back. So every time I'd have a drink, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get arrested again. Oh my God, this is going to happen. Oh my God, this, like, it was like, woo, like, it was like crazy rat race. And then I just couldn't get off my own hamster wheel. It was nuts. So I go to therapy, we talk about the whole thing. And they tell me, like, yeah, you have anxiety. And yeah, you've got, mild depression, all these things. Here's these meds. It'll make you feel better. Okay, sure. Like, what do I know? Like, I'm fucking 24 years old. Like, what do I know? So I start taking them and then basically turned me into a zombie. Like, I was like just totally mellow and like I had no umph. And my ex was like, this isn't going to work. Like, there's something, this isn't helping you. So he went to a couple of sessions with me. So they tried to take, like, so that we took me off the meds and they were going to put me on something else, which kind of sort of worked. But again, I didn't like that feeling. Like, I don't even like to take an aspirin. So for me to be in a state that I can't control, and that's kind of what it comes down to with the alcohol too, because it gets you in a state that you can't control. And then with the anxiety, you always have to be in control. So it's like this, I don't know, it's just like, it's like that all the time in your body, your mindset, you can't get any kind of semblance of like a plateau. Like you're always at 100 miles an hour. And then, like I said, after that, that's when everything happened. And I didn't want to go back to therapy. And like I said, my parents tried to help. My dad tried. I mean, they were making sure I was eating. They were telling me it wasn't my fault. Like, things will get better. You just got to get over it. And all that. Like, this is the kind of stuff. And it's like, well, that's not how this works. And like I said, then that's when I got into the yoga and realized, oh, I can do this myself. Like, I can go inward. I can look. I can see. I can be okay with all this crap. I can let it up and out. I can accept the fact of this is who I am. And then how do I live with it in a way that's going to be a functioning, happy kind of way.
And is that gone? Do you say anxiety doesn't exist in your life anymore?
No, it exists. It's still there. But it's a matter of having such, like, I have like a toolbox of things that this way, when it does come up, when I start seeing the signs, when I get triggered, I can tap it back down. I don't want to say control it, but now I know. So this way I'm not just at like it happens and it's like, what do I do about it? Like now when it's like I feel an anxiety attack coming, which is very rare at this point, it really never happens. But they do, they start coming up and I can feel it. And now I feel the signs and the symptoms and I'm like, start your breath work, go find a space, like do, and I can get myself.
That's beautiful.
Because most people don't recognize it and they'll be like, I can't control it. Like it always just happens. You can control it. It just.
Would you say, because I hear people saying you can control it, but obviously when the moment the anxiety arises, there was a point that you also allow it to be triggered.
Yeah, there's a tiny little space between parts, and when the attack is full blown, that you have the opportunity to use what you've learned, to use your breath work, use your mindset, grab your journal, do whatever it is for you that's gonna bring it back to that first little bit of space where it's always in there, not letting that fire burn. Like you're not.
And the moment before it even comes to the anxiety, do you think this can ever be killed?
I don't know. That I really don't know. I mean, I don't know what doctors are working on, psychologists, things like that. I really don't know. I honestly think whether it's, nature versus nurture, it's in there. And if it's something that's comes
It's a
out.
little bit like the darkness, right? The darkness will always be there.
Got it. Yeah, exactly. I think everybody's got it. I just think some people feed it more than others. Because I mean, like I said, to an extent, I think everybody honestly has anxiety. It's just whether or not you feed it, whether or not you're beyond that. And for the people that do, it's then you have to deal with it.
Correct.
And I think that's a lot of your empaths. I think that's a lot of your people that feel things strongly. I don't know.
And where do you think your clients are at their journey? Do they know they have it or they don't? Could they name it?
That's a good question. Probably, I think maybe they know or they have an idea, but I think some people are kind of in that space of denial where they're like, well, if I just keep working and ignore it, it'll be fine. Or if I just do what I'm supposed to, it'll be fine. And it's not going to be fine, because one day it's going to rear its ugly head and it's going to happen somewhere that, trust me, you don't want it to happen. And then you're going to feel like crap because it did happen. And then that's when people don't know what to do. And that's the worst feeling ever. Like, I've had full-blown anxiety attacks out in public, and it's scary because you don't know if you've never had one, you have no idea what it is. You can't stop it. People around you just think you're a freak. They can't help you because they're telling you to calm down, and that's like the worst thing you can do, because now you're like, calm down, like, oh my God. It's like, no. It's like,
is an anxiety attack the same than a panic attack?
It's very similar. Usually most people get that hyperventilating feeling. They get the waterworks. They get that uncontrolled emotional, there's nothing you're going to do about it except ride it out. And then when you're done, you're exhausted. Most people just want to sleep. They just want to lay, and that's fine. That's the best advice I can give is, if you have a full-blown anxiety or, panic attack for that matter, if you got to ride it out, and then go sleep, like just go relax, because your body's exerted 10 times the amount of energy that it normally does. Muscles have tightened up so much. You're working things emotionally. You've trained your brain. You have to take the time for you at that point.
And now a follow-up question: when you think of a client, the moment the client scrolls through Facebook and comes across your posts, in what kind of situations do they do that? When they are in an anxiety attack, or when they don't feel good, or before they fall asleep, or maybe they calm down?
I'm really sorry. Try that one more time, because I did not understand the question.
Yes. So think of your client.
Okay.
When a client picks up their cell phone and scrolls through Facebook and comes across a post of you.
When is that?
In what state?
I guess it could really be any, I guess. I mean, I guess for some people, like, I hate to say mindless scrolling, but a lot of us just kind of do that, I think, like when we're going to bed, or you wake up in the middle of the night, or you're at work and you're bored, or you're sitting on the subway or whatever. Like, I think that's just it's almost like a normal thing now, like getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth. Like, people just do it. And I don't think people even realize it anymore.
Yeah, probably.
So whether it's them relaxing after an anxiety attack, whether it's whatever. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's a good question.
Because that is a nice thing to find out. I have so much to share, Pam. It's incredible to listen to your story. It's so beautiful to hear, and it's so valuable to share. So if you touch I assume you say one story to someone. Well, you say certain words if someone is in a full-blown attack. You pick up your teacher spirit and you give the soothing words that they need to hear. That's one message. If someone is over their anxiety attacks the next morning and feels like, oh, I'm happy again, and scrolls through their post and sees something you have written, it's another type of story that you're obviously sharing, right? I think my point is, I think you need to share all of whatever you just told me. This is so beautiful to listen to you. It's wonderful. When you describe yourself as the person, let's say 5 years ago, how would you describe that, Pam?
5 years ago. Oh. So I was a workaholic. I was working anywhere between 50, 60 hours a week. I was in a job that I absolutely hated, but I was good at it, so it was fine. I had an hour commute each day that I wasted my time. I didn't know what audios were. I didn't know what videos were. I didn't have stuff. Like, that wasn't a thing for me. And I would literally work. Like I'd get home from work and be too tired to do anything, so I'd go to bed. I was the girl sleeping till noon on a Sunday rather than getting up and like enjoying the morning and doing stuff. I was infatuated with my boyfriend, so even on my days off, it was how can I spend time with him? What can I do to make him happy? I should cook for him. I should go to his gigs. Like there was no taking care of him. There weren't baths and pedicures and stuff like that. I like now, like I make the effort to do my hair. I put makeup on. I do things. I wasn't doing any of that. Which in turn again may have contributed to him looking elsewhere, which is fine. Like I'm not blaming him for all of it. Definitely between drinking and that kind of shit, all this stuff. Like I get it. Yeah, I had no sense of self-worth. I had no self-respect. I wasn't doing things. I also had nobody there to tell me, not tell me to do them, but nobody was holding me accountable. Nobody was saying this is a good thing. Nobody was kind of giving me that big head slap on the back going, hey, get your shit together. Kind of like my big goal. That's what I want to do for my people is give them that, because I don't want to see them be like I was 5 years ago, because that sucks.
So workaholic in a soul-sucking job, commuting 1 hour. When did you drink? Or was it drinking problem before?
No, it was definitely during. Like I
time as well.
Have to have a drink before I went to bed. Like I'd always drink with meals. Like I said, I'd go out to my boyfriend's gigs and he'd play for 4 hours, and that was that's all you did was hang out in the bar and drink.
And drink.
There was a lot of alcohol.
And now, today, Pam, today.
Well, as far as that goes, I work a regular Monday to Friday, so I do still have my weekends. I have time for me. I'm not utilizing it as much as I was when, it's funny, like when I lived in Connecticut, I really was. And then when I first moved down here, I was still pretty consistent. And then, like I said, I kind of fell off that wagon again. Like I've been really good about my business and making sure I post and do things, but I'm like, really still need to take care of me more. But yeah, I'm definitely better at that. I will say that. Like I do make time for me and I recognize it. And I know I do it. So I am doing that. Alcohol wise, it's pretty much non-existent. Like I said, it's if I go out to have a dinner or do something, I will, maybe have a glass of wine or something like that. But I really don't go out of my way. I'm not feeling this like craving for it anymore. Because I pretty much just drink kratom, which is again debatable in some circles, but I think it's wonderful. Like I said, I've changed my diet. I've changed my sleep schedule. Like I said, I do get up in the mornings. I mean, I like getting up.
And do you base all this development on Kundalini, on your yoga? Would you say yoga is what helped you to get there?
Yeah, no, I definitely would. Yeah, absolutely. Because I just know, like, when I take a class or even when I teach a class and I get done, I feel good. Like, I know I feel better.
Yes.
I feel more energy. I know I do things, which is why it's stupid when I get up in the morning and, like I said, I feel unmotivated. I'm like, but you're going to feel good when you're done with it.
Correct. Like, yes. And you as a teacher, where do you get your practice?
I pretty much just do my own. Like I don't really watch videos. I don't do I just kind of go with my flow. Like I'll put a playlist on and I'll start with the warm-ups and I'll just kind of go from there and see how I'm feeling. I had a gym membership for a while until the pandemic hit, and then I just have no intention of going back right now. So I did sign up for this free, well, it wasn't free. It was like $10, I guess, but like just online workouts. So I do have that. That's kind of helping me on that regard, like to do workouts from home, because it wasn't really something I was ever used to doing, because you go to the gym and you can lift weights and you've got equipment, and now it's like, well, now what do I do that I'm home? Like, but
I understand.
With the Kundalini, I'm very lucky because that is really physical, because it's not just regular yoga where you see people doing fancy poses and all this stuff. It's like you'll see, like, you ever see people like do like double leg lifts and they're doing the core work and stuff, like that's part of Kundalini. And I'm like, you don't have to go to the gym for that. Like that's part of it.
Okay. Yes, I understand.
Like we incorporate different breath works for a reason. Like I said, between planking and leg lifts and the repetitive movements, like when you're moving in between stuff, like you feel like you're doing like push-ups and things like that. It's really not just
it's also workout.
Well, and that's why I love Kundalini, because it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's everything. It's not like.
And are you gonna give us classes in Bali every day? Is that the plan, or what's the?
Yeah, 1 hour
every morning. Oh, that's so nice.
Okay. A healthy dose of Kundalini every day.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait in general. It's like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so, so excited.
It's fun. There's just so much you can do with it. Time for me, and thank you for letting me ramble and go on.
And I would love to continue this. Maybe we can meet again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm always available. Just let me know when is good for you.
Let's stay in touch. We'll meet on Voxer. And of course, we meet on the next call.
I am so glad I got to spend time with you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Your story is worth sharing. So go share it.
No, I definitely will do more. I'm actually feeling really motivated right now. So I'm going to break out my journal and do some stuff. And
such a pleasure meeting you, and we'll hang around for the next time. So please, let's catch up again. Wow. Have a good day. And for me, good night. Talk to you soon, Pam.
Bye.
Ciao.